That is the power of experimentation and curiosity. So once you have known what you want to do, there will be people who are very hybrids of it, right? Like, you know what you want to do, but you do not know how to get there. There are a lot of people like this. So what is your dream? 10 years from now, what is your dream going to be? Is it buying a Ferrari? Is it having certain amount of money in your bank account? Is it going on the streets and 10 people come and take a selfie with you? What is your dream? Some people might know, I want to be rich in 10 years, but I do not know what exactly that I'm going to take up in order to become rich, right? That was the exact scenario I had as well. I knew I was going to become a businessman. I knew I was going to get a call from my college someday inviting me as a guest lecturer, but I didn't know what reason is it they're going to invite me for. What is it that I'm going to accomplish so that my college calls me, invites me to give a guest lecture? What is it? I didn't know that answer. So it's absolutely fine. Some people might know what you want, but you do not know how to get there. That is where this power of curiosity and experimentation comes into place. Now, once you have known what you want, become curious about it. Let's say, for example, I'm not going to go into the traditional, I want to become a manager, I want to become a CA, I want to become an accountant and all that. Let's say you want to become a YouTuber. Take the top YouTubers and see where they are now and where they started. Reverse engineer it. Do a case study. What are the things that they did to be where they are today, right? It could be about any profession, not just YouTubing. It could be about being a singer or a graphic designer. Take the top level people. Where do they come from? What do they do? Become curious. The next time you get a chance to ask a YouTuber a question or an entrepreneur a question, ask questions which are very curious to you, which are very inquisitive, which intrigues you. Like, why did you become an entrepreneur? What are the challenges you're facing as a YouTuber? Ask these sort of questions. That is where curiosity comes into place. So when I was 15, 16, right after my 10th grade, I joined the gym and I started training there, and I completely stopped hanging out with people my age. You know why? Because most of my friends were from the gym. And they were all 23, 24-year-olds at that time. And they were all already working, right? They were working in Amazon. My first lifting partner was in Amazon. He would tell me how his experience was in Amazon. My second lifting partner was a mechanical engineer who was working in Royal Enfield manufacturing unit in Oragadam. And then he would share his experience. So by the time I was 17, 16, I started hanging out with people who were far more better than me, stronger than me, bigger than me, and that pushed me to improve myself, right? So at least have 30% of your circle where the people are older than you or more experienced than you. I'm not saying age defines maturity. I truly believe a lot of you in this crowd are far more matured than some of the people my age. And I believe that people my age are far more mature than people who are 40s and 45s, right? Age doesn't define maturity. That's not what I mean. What I mean is they have lived more than you. So they have the right to advise you. They have the right to help you. So please hang out with people who make you insecure. This is such an infamous thing to say. Why should I hang out with somebody who makes me feel insecure, right? Having inferiority complex is far better than having superiority complex, because when you have superiority complex, you know it all. You know everything. You wouldn't ask any question to anybody. But when you have inferiority complex, if you handle it right, there is always room for development. I can't speak English properly. How can I improve it? I'm feeling insecure about it. I'm lean. I want to build muscle. I go to the gym. I hit the weights. I improve, right? I want to ride my bike. I take it to a track. I test it. I drive it around. I ride it around the curve. So insecurity is very good to handle if you know how to handle it. So hang out with people who are far more better than you. That is how you feed your curiosity. When I was in college, more than the time I spent in my classroom, I spent with my staffs, with this personality development officers. They were very close to me. I was the least confident student I ever knew. Not student, a person I ever knew. I can't even go say hi to a girl. I was that bad. I can't respond, right? So what I did is, I started taking up a lot of seminars. I was not a good student. I was not a great student. Ma'am, should I have to wait? Yeah. So I was not a good student. I would take somewhere between 8, 8.5. I took the most amount of seminars during my college years. And that gave me the confidence to talk in front of 60 people. If I could talk in front of 60 people, then I can talk in front of 6. That's not an issue. So what happened, it pushed me to start hosting symposiums, culturals. I soon became the chief anchor, and I became the literary club head, and I started hosting symposium, culturals, and every single event which was hosted by the literary club, right? So that is how you improvise. So that is how you become better. And then comes the power of experimentation. This is for people who do not know what you want in life. So let me ask you a simple question. Let me give you a simple example. If idli and sambar is what you ate all your life, that is all you ate, like dosa and idli and sambar, that's all. How are you going to tell what is your favorite dish? You should have eaten a pizza. You should have eaten a biryani. You should have eaten a lasagna. You should have eaten ice creams. If you haven't tasted all this, how are you going to say this is my favorite dish? How are you going to answer that question? How are we going about our careers? Our parents and teachers would be like, by the time we are 20, we should know what exactly we should do. That's not it. Right after I graduated from BCom, I'll tell you, this is completely outside the picture. Though I wanted to become an entrepreneur, I did have the money to start my own business. I was just gallivanting around, just wandering around. I didn't have any idea of what to start. So I took a course in film direction in a film institute, and there's a software called Celtex. Okay, it's a script writing software. I learned it. Today, if any of you have a film, I can write the screenplay for it. Like I can type the script for it. I am nowhere related to cinema or film or anything, but it's just something that I picked up. So you have to experiment before you come to a conclusion that this is my cup of tea, this is what I want to be doing in life. I do a lot of things today. I create content, I post videos on YouTube. I'm also an interior designer. I'm also a manufacturer. That none of this is connected with each other. Like, do you see the point? Like, there are various different combinations of what I do. Nothing is interrelated. The person who does designing for me did mechanical engineering. The person who's the lead of the electrical department in my company is a mechanical engineer. Nobody, just because you've chose BCom doesn't mean you have to go with what BCom offers you. Now, I'm not telling you to pull away from BCom. You have studied BCom, right? Use it, but it doesn't mean that is what you should be pursuing. That's where experimentation comes into place. If you want to try being a YouTuber, start posting videos. See what happens. Let it get 5 views, 6 views. There are not a lot of subscribers or views on my channel. I don't care about it either. It's about content creation that I'm passionate about. It's a side hustle that I do. So try, experiment a lot of things. If you want to become a graphic designer, try graphic designing. There are a lot of softwares today. Do it through Canva, do it through Photoshop. What are you going to experiment? So once you start experiment, some might land on something you might like, right? If there is something that you think you might like, not that you like, might think you might like, go for it. You may feel like, no, I don't think it's for me, but let me just give it a try. And who knows, you can land up with something beautiful. There are a lot of people who came into the picture like that. A lot of people who became giant superstars. They didn't know what they were doing, but they got into it, tried it, and they become a huge success. So that's where the power of curiosity and experimentation comes in.